Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of the Storytime Society. I'm your host Jamie and I'm so happy you're here. I'm so glad you're alive. Thanks for tuning in. The theme of this episode is creepy encounters. Okay, so also I just wanted to show you guys my sweatshirt today. It is a cat and a pumpkin. And the cat has a witch hat on, and I think this is the cutest sweatshirt that I'll be wearing every single day for the foreseeable future. Anyways, let's get into it. The title of the first story says, Creepy Stranger Won't Leave Me Alone. So recently, I just bought a house, and everything seemed fine at first. All until one Tuesday, I was backing up from my garage when I saw a guy leaning against a Toyota Camry, staring my car down. I pull my car out and roll down my window to ask him if he needs anything, and he just says, quote, "No, sir. Have a good day." I then asked him politely if he could leave, and he didn't respond. He just stared at me for a good 30 seconds. I started to get out of my car and confront him, but as soon as he saw me go for the door, he got in his car and drove off. I was so rattled. I called in sick to work and called the police. They said I was probably being scouted for a burglary, which made sense. I had my brother-in-law come down and stay with my wife to help comfort her, and I went and bought a Ring camera set. After we settled down, everything seemed to go back to normal until Sunday. I was watching the Chiefs-Browns game when the same man peeked through my front window and stared at me and started laughing. I quickly went to grab my gun, but when I turned around, he was gone. I called the police and they took the Ring footage to try and track him down. Me and my wife decided to stay with family until it's solved. Everything seems to be normal, right? And then last night at 2 a.m., I get a call from an unknown number asking if I'm home. I ask who this is, and they hang up. I notify the police, but they say there is little that they can do. I really love the neighborhood besides this, and I don't want to quit my job, but I'm just pondering moving out of state and changing numbers. I have a baby on the way and can't take my family's safety for granted. Is there absolutely any advice you guys could give me to help guide me through this? Thanks, and God bless. Oh my, that just gave me the heebies. That gave me literal Jeepers Creepers vibes to the max. I'm literally so scared. Dude, I don't even know what I would do in this situation. Like, I genuinely don't know what I would do. I would be freaked the fuck out. I already am so scared all the time. I literally wake up like from noises in my dream constantly. I can't even imagine if I was being stalked by like a creepy stranger who just comes up to my window and laughs like you're in a fucking horror movie or something. Oh my God. No, I would actually I would sob. Okay, there's an update. So like, let's hope everything's fine. But honestly, like, what are you going to do? I just can't imagine what this update could even be, but we'll see. Okay, update. So about 2 weeks ago, I posted in this subreddit about my creepy experiences. Basically, a man started harassing me and my pregnant wife at our house. Anyways, one Redditor asked about my wife's occupation and if maybe it could get us some hate. That turned out to be true. My wife is a councilwoman in a really conservative town, and she's the only Democrat politician of any kind in the region. I took all of your advice. I bought a total of 18 cameras, bought my wife a handgun, and reported my suspicion to the cops. After analysis of our Ring camera footage of the man, they found him. Apparently, he's a member of some alt-right group called a Groyper. I've never heard of them, but I guess they are very popular in our state. Anyway, thanks to you all, me and my wife get to welcome home our baby girl Thursday with no fear of that creep anymore. God bless you all. Oh my God, are you shatting me? Of course. But first of all, I need to look up what a groyper is. Like, I have no idea what that word is. And sometimes I get scared that I'm going to say, like, a bad word and not even know that it's a bad word. And then, like, I'm going to be like, what the hell? So let me just look up what the hell this word is. A groyper. Many groypers hold racist and anti-Semitic views. Fuentes is careful to position the groypers not as white supremacists, but rather as Christian conservatives who oppose, among other things, immigration, undocumented and legal, globalism, gay and transgender rights, and feminism. Oh, so the worst type of person in the world. Okay, gotcha. Gotcha. You deserve to be in jail, so like, bye. I hope you literally do something so stupid, but not to harm anyone, and you go to jail. Please. Thank you. Okay, some of the comments. In case anyone is curious, the OOP posted this comment in response to a question about what happened after they identified the creep and said, "Sorry, I thought I commented this. LOL, my head is spinning." Yes, he was arrested for trespassing, and I guess they said he had a warrant for something else, but I can't remember. And once we got home, a lawyer is coming out to convene with us about the legal process. What could I really wonder if, like, what the warrant was. A lot of people are saying they have never heard of the Groypers. I swear to God, I've heard of the name Nick Fuentes, but I don't know who it is actually, like off the top of my head right now. Nick Fuentes. Oh, is that the freaking Fox guy? Oh, wait, I have no idea who this is. Not when you look him up. Nick Fuentes is a far-right American political pundit, activist, and streamer known for promoting white supremacist, anti-Semitic, homophobic, and misogynistic views. Wow. Wow. Sounds like an amazing person. I would love to give this guy a hug and call him my friend. He is considered a leader of the Groyper Army, a group of his followers. Fuentes' ideology is often described as Christian nationalism and integralism. Don't know how to pronounce that. The Southern Poverty Law Center describes him as a white nationalist who aims to move the Republican Party toward the extreme far right. Boo! Tomatoes. That's all I have to say about that. Like, for real. Get out of my face, Nick Fuentes. First of all, you're ugly. And second of all, goodbye. Let's move on to the next story. I gotta get this guy out of my feed immediately. Okay. The title is, "My 30 female student, 18 male, made a super creepy comment. My husband, 35 male, thinks I'm being paranoid." I'm a high school English teacher and have been for a few years. In that time, as a woman, I've been used to teenage boys behaving awkwardly around me sometimes, and pheromones are part of the deal. There have been occasional comments, but generally in the vein of, "Miss so-and-so has a crush on you," or "Miss, would you be so-and-so's Valentine?" It's all in good humor in front of the whole class or a large group, and is well-meaning. My school throws a January ball for seniors 16 through 18 years old, which is basically an opportunity to celebrate the start of another calendar year. As it's after hours, not every teacher has to attend, and this year I was asked to chaperone. There is no alcohol permitted, but obviously some of them sneak in hip flasks and so on. During this month's ball, 2 students were huddled at a table in the corner of the hall, not dancing, just keeping to themselves. I know them well as problematic students who have difficulties socially, but also perform poorly academically, so they don't fit in with the popular crowd or the nerdy lot. We have some of these every year. Poor hygiene, greasy hair, long fingernails, that sort of thing. Immediately, I could tell they had been drinking, from the way they spoke and smelled, and asked them to hand over any alcohol they had. One of the boys, I'll call him Stuart, started protesting. He said the following, and I'm 100% sure this is what he actually said. Quote, "Come on, miss. Don't pretend you won't open that bottle of Bailey's when you get home, feet up in your dressing gown, watching the new TV. Give us a break." Now, as soon as he said this, I felt my heart drop into my stomach and got cold all over. Number one, I had just bought a bottle of Bailey's Irish Cream for myself the weekend before the dance. 2, I'm in the habit, on nights where I don't have much marking/planning and want to treat myself, of having a bath and watching a movie/series in my dressing gown. And number 3, my husband bought a new television over Christmas. I asked him how he knew these things, and he feigned ignorance, basically saying it was a lucky guess. I was so shaken that I left them, and a short while later, they both left. But that night, I could barely sleep, and my paranoia kept growing. I simply cannot believe that he could have guessed all three of those things. One, maybe, but no way all three. My husband is away for work currently. I phoned and told him about it, and he basically downplayed my concerns, saying I probably mentioned those things to my class at various points, and this student has just remembered it. But I would never mention those things. I just wouldn't, and I'm sure I haven't. I've become more skittish at home when I hear noises. I only live in a small house, but when I arrive home from buying groceries, I check every single room and cupboard before I lock the doors. I've also arranged to have locks changed. When cars stop outside the house, I turn all the lights off and peek at them through the blinds. I'm having trouble sleeping. In class, this student is quiet and the same as ever, not completing homework assignments, distracted in class. My husband is growing increasingly exasperated and worried more for my mental health than the possibility this student could somehow know details of my personal life. I mentioned it to my supervisor as well, and she also basically reasoned that I either misheard what he said, it was a coincidence, or a combination of the two. What's the play here? Because I'm seriously freaked out and I don't know how to even begin putting this to rest.
If you want extra content weekly, head over to patreon.com/storytimesociety and become a member on there for extra content. Love you.
The first thing I have to say about this story is now, after hearing this, I want to know what my teachers described me as. Like, I really hope it wasn't poor hygiene, greasy hair, long fingernails, that sort of thing. I really hope that's not how they... I don't think I had greasy hair. I would hope not. Except, actually, don't judge me, guys. Seriously, I went through, I don't even know what I would like to call this phase, but I went through a phase in high school where, I didn't wear a bra for, months, and I think I would give it probably the nickname, hippie phase. I didn't wash my hair for, because it was the time where everyone was, training their hair to not be greasy. So I was like, okay, I'll do that. I'll train my hair not to be greasy. I think I didn't wash my hair for 14 days. I washed my body, okay? I took showers, okay, every day. Don't judge me. I don't know why the fuck I would ever do that. I wash my hair every day now, okay? Seriously, I'm scarred from that. I can't believe I didn't wash my hair for 14 days. And oh my God. Literally, I think back to that and I'm like, ew. I wonder if people could smell my head. That couldn't have smelled good. I mean, I use dry shampoo and stuff, obviously. Otherwise, my hair literally would have been dripping grease McDonald's fries, fucking times 200. But that's actually insane. And then, yeah, I didn't wear a bra. What I would do is I would put Band-Aids on my nipples so that, you couldn't see the nip. And I would wear those Band-Aids on. This is fucking disgusting. I'm telling it back and I'm like, am I okay? Was I okay at this point of time? I would wear the Band-Aids for, days at a time, just over my nipples. And then by the time I would take them off, it would literally have that, gray, sticky stuff, just, the remnants of it on my boobs. Yeah, what? Hello? I don't think I was okay at all, actually. Now that I'm thinking about it, it's really, truly scaring me. But anyways, let's hope that I definitely showered and I put dry shampoo on so no one could tell. But, let's hope no one was getting a whiff of that. Okay, seriously. I'm, so concerned now. Okay, update. I wasn't expecting this post to receive so much attention. I'm really grateful to so many people who have validated my concerns and helped me develop a plan of action. I got home a little while ago, and I'm going out shortly with a friend to try to rule out Bluetooth and Wi-Fi devices with my neighbors. After that, the two of us will try and conduct a meticulous search of the house for any concealed devices using the lights out phone camera trick some people recommended and some other tips I've found online. Just to clarify a couple of points that I've seen raised a few times. A dressing gown is a really common term here in England for what Americans might call a robe. It's absolutely common parlance. Here, most people I know would associate a robe with something a wizard might wear. In terms of it being a lucky guess, if he had just said, relax with a glass of wine, I might have assumed so. But the dressing gown comment plus the Bailey's comment when I had just bought a bottle and the explicit mention of a new television, which I am 100% certain I did not misinterpret. These things make it so much harder to write off as a coincidence. As far as social media goes, I have Instagram, which is set to private under my maiden name, and my profile picture is not of me. I'm not in the habit of connecting with former students. I only have 3 who have all gone on to study English at university and have used me as references. I also have a Snapchat, which I use only with my husband and very close friends. I've posted nothing about my new television, and I also don't think I've mentioned this to colleagues, let alone to students. Certainly, I said nothing about the Baileys that I just bought. Ew, yeah, I mean, that's just way too specific. And no way, shape, or form was I thinking that, like, that was just a coincidence. I don't know why people are trying to gaslight her. And it's like the movies where it's like, oh my God. Like, people will literally, someone will be figuring out literal, like, a murder that happened, and they'll be saying exactly what happened. And then their wife or their husband or something, usually it's to their husband, like, it's the woman that's saying it to their husband. And their husband's like, are you okay? Like, are you taking your meds? Like, do you think you should go back and see that doctor? You know, they're always like so suspicious, and they like gaslight them into thinking they're crazy. And it's like, okay, fine. But also, how about just listen for a second and maybe they're actually on to something? That always bothers me in movies. It's like, why are you gaslighting them into thinking that they're like freaking dreaming this all up? That's so obvious that I would also, if I were her husband, I would be like, okay, what the fuck? That is actually so creepy. If someone verbatim said like my boyfriend's nighttime routine and with really specific details, and he came home and told me that, and he was like, I'm so scared because I've never mentioned any of those things to anyone, I would be locking the doors and buying 200 guns. Like, seriously, I'd be so scared. Okay, relevant comments. Is it possible that you or your husband were observed buying the new TV and the Baileys? The student's parents could have seen either purchase and said, oh, blank just got a new LG 65-inch. I agree you should do a sweep for cameras or ask a tech-ish friend to help, but that would necessitate figuring out how the cameras got there, which opens up a larger conspiracy. OOP said, how can I do a sweep for cameras? I genuinely want to know. And then some people were just like giving little DIY ways of checking for cameras. And this is the update. So let's read it. I wasn't going to post an update here, but the number of worried people who have reached out to me made me reconsider. After a thorough search of my house, I found 2 devices. They seem to be camera devices. I don't know if audio is included. One of them was in the smoke detector in my bedroom, while the other was concealed in the wall of my living room. Looking at an old picture of my bedroom, it looks like the smoke detector itself has changed very slightly. I think that the new one is a device in itself, which the culprit somehow switched with the old one without us noticing. The matter has now been referred to the police. If it wasn't for so many of you taking me seriously and giving me practical advice, I wouldn't have had the courage to check, especially given my husband downplaying the concerns. He has been very apologetic and is coming back from his work trip early, but I've asked to spend some time apart and will be staying with my parents for a while. I'm glad I raised the issue with the head at my school and a couple of others, as there's a paper trail. Another suggestion from the thread. Needless to say, I'm completely shaken to my core, and I have the most revolting feeling of my privacy being invaded. I have no idea how many people have been involved in this, but phones have been taken from students, and we should have more answers soon. I won't be making any more posts or updates. Thank you again to everyone for affirming me and making me feel sane. Oh, slay, girl. You go, queen. I would never notice. If someone changed my fire alarm, like, you think I fucking notice? I would never notice. I don't look at my fire alarms and, like, admire them. I'm just living here, and if someone even literally, they could put, like, a bright pink fire alarm up there, and I wouldn't know. I'd be like, oh, since when did we have a pink fire alarm? That's so cool. Like, I literally would never have been, like, especially for it to be changed slightly, like, you're not gonna notice that. That's actually so scary though, because imagine like the freaking maintenance guys come in here and they like put some cameras in. I would be so scared. Some of the comments. This is nightmare fuel. Either strangers have had access to her house or someone she knows and trusts is involved. And then Dorito Bimbo said, I was on the OG thread and it made me kind of sick how many people were like, yeah, those 3 highly specific details are totally reasonable guesses all at once. Yeah, literally. Like, why would people be saying that? I don't understand why so many people would be like, that's just a coincidence. No, it's not. You don't watch enough true crime, apparently. Terry25 said, I mean, honestly, my thought would have been peeping Tom, not cameras. But yeah, not random, I guess. I don't know why this is like, just the true crime thing made me think about how this morning me and Jack were finishing the Hunting Wives show, which if you haven't watched is really good show. It's like a murder mystery, but also like lesbian, like, I don't even know what to call it. It's like so random of well, it's honestly tea, but I loved it. It was so good. I don't know what I'm saying right now, but I don't want to give anything away. But there was like a dead body in the water. And then like Jack was like, "Oh, good. Like no one will find it there." Which obviously morbid, but you know, it's a show. So, we're not speaking in terms of real life, but I was like, well, no, because like, and I said all of this stuff about how like if you don't do this, then the body will float up to the top after a little bit because of whatever, you know. And he was looking at me so scared. He's like, you should not know that, and I'm like, girl, I just consume way too much true crime to not know that. Genuinely, I'm like, I said it was the way I said it was so specific, and then I thought back and I was like, wow, that actually sounded really creepy of me saying like specific things. But obviously, if you're a true crime watcher or a true crime listener, you will know exactly what I mean. Like, you just know weird things about crimes, and like, obviously, I would never freaking be involved in that. Okay, I just am like really educated on it because of the amount of hours I've listened to. So, and also, honestly, what I said could have not even been true, but I definitely learned it from like a true crime podcast that I was listening to. So, anyways, we're gonna move on to the next. But he was really scared, so we're gonna move on to the next story. And the title is, should I, 25 female, be concerned about my male neighbor, or am I being paranoid? For reference, I live by myself in an apartment on the first floor. It's located in the very back of my apartment building, so there's very minimal foot traffic. Usually just my across the hall neighbor, his visitors, or delivery people. I have a screened in patio. I usually leave my door cracked open during the day for my cats to hang outside. The patio is pretty private, but there is about a 2-foot sliver that is viewable from the outside. Anyways, the other day I left to run errands, and this man, probably late 20s to mid 30s, was peering into my patio. I confronted him. He explained that his dog named Waffle likes to interact with my cats through the screen. He did have a cute little dog with him. He was friendly, said he lives on the 3rd floor. I didn't think much of it until I got home, went to open my back door, and realized that my back door had been closed all day. So you'd think he would have noticed that my cats weren't out and left instead of waiting there, peering into my patio, right? On Friday, my coworker slash friend stopped by, and we were talking for a while in this little area by my front door. When I went to walk her out, I opened the door. It opens inward. And since I didn't anticipate a man to be standing right outside my door, I was startled and jumped back a little. My friend knelt down to pet Waffle and asked, like, oh, what's his name, etc. He kept letting Waffle get into my apartment despite my attempts to kindly nudge him back outside. I tried to give him a look, like, hey, get your dog out of my house. But when I went to make eye contact, he didn't have that same friendly expression. He had this look on his face like he was thinking really hard about something. Kind of like the face you would make if you wrote a shopping list, forget to bring it with you, so you intensely try to remember what was on the list. It was a little unnerving, but whatever. They left and the day went on. Then yesterday I heard him shouting, Waffle! Waffle! In the morning and later that night. I should mention I've lived here for about 3 years. I know that no one has moved in recently. I've never seen this guy, nor have I ever heard him call out for the dog before. I'm a grad student and I work from home, so I'm pretty much home all of the time. And if he's home due to quarantine, I feel like I would have at least seen him or heard him once before during the earlier months. So now that I've been overthinking about my interactions with the guy, my front door and patio are at the back of the building. You wouldn't normally walk a dog there since it's just a brick pathway. Maybe he was just curious at first and noticed his dog liked the cats, so he kept returning. But then why was he peering into my patio when there were clearly no cats out at the time? Why was he so close to my door? Was he listening to my conversation? Am I being paranoid? Or is this behavior a little weird? On one hand, the guy really could just be innocently walking his dog by my apartment. On the other hand, I'm getting some creepy vibes off this guy. What do you think? I'm probably being paranoid, right? Truly, no. Because what the hell? Sorry, but if you're a man, you should know to not be a McCreepster when you're approaching like a woman. I don't even, as a woman, like, I don't want to even, I mean, I guess because I'm a woman, so I have empathy about like people being creeped out. And I try my hardest to avoid situations like that. Like, obviously, I haven't been in this specific situation, but you know what I mean? Like, where someone would think, like, oh, she's being creepy or, like, peeping on me in, like, private or something. Like, obviously, I try to never get into a type of situation like that. I don't even know why I would ever be in a situation like that, but you know what I mean. So, like, if as a guy, I feel like I would be so much more I would just be so much more cognizant of like, okay, women are scared of men, most of them. So maybe I should stay away from this woman's patio and like stop peering into her house and being like a creepy little freaking goblin. Okay, there's a little update and it says, I feel a little paralyzed after reading all the responses. I try to trust my gut instincts, but I wanted to hear from others. I genuinely appreciate everyone who has responded with recommendations and validated that my concerns are warranted. Thank you guys. My friend is staying with me for a little bit until I increase my safety measures and feel a little bit safer again. Thanks to anyone who is checking in. And then there's a relevant comment, and it says, OP, I took a look at your history. It looks like you've been living at your place for 3 years and haven't had an on and off BF for 3 years, but haven't heard of this guy's for the past 3 years. It's very suspect that he is starting to come into your life just after you have broken up with your boyfriend. How often was your ex-boyfriend at your place? He might have picked up that you have been recently single. Also, from your past posts, it seems like you've been in relationships where you were the dominated. Sorry for the term. Which is why you are hesitant about the complaint and protecting yourself. But please make sure you're safe. Have a camera, log every interaction you have noticed, log the amount of times you have heard him with his dog near your place, and then file a complaint. At the end of it all, it's better to be safe and protect yourself than be sorry about it later. At least with the logs, you can provide that proof to your apartment management and, if it needs to be, to the police. I don't know why that comment kind of creeped me out. Because, like, imagine it was the guy. Imagine this, like, the neighbor found this and then was, like, giving her suggestions. Like, I can just imagine, like, a creepy guy typing all of this out. And he's, like, actually the one that's spying on her. That's how my brain works. But, update. Hi, I wanted to update anyone who read the original post and is wondering how I'm doing. I appreciate everyone's concerns. I didn't expect so many responses offering their recommendations and support. I've updated my security measures, which I should have done when I first moved in anyways. I only let the cats roam around the patio during the day when I'm hanging out in the living room and can supervise. Maybe 2 to 3 hours a day. I haven't seen this person nor the dog since my last interaction. I did hear a woman's voice yelling out the dog's name the other day, but this could be his partner, roommate, friend, etc. I'm not sure. I will update if there are any future interactions with this person, but so far, none. And let's hope it stays this way. Nonetheless, I am safe. Thank you. P.S. The in case I go missing box idea is from the podcast Crime Junkie. It wasn't my original idea. I might be ridiculous for having a box like this, but it is just for peace of mind. And then there's a relevant comment. It says, the box stuff looks like it was edited out, but here's a rundown from this article. Here are some things you can include in your folder. Oh my God. I've never heard of this actually, which I'm surprised, but I'm going to read the list just in case. Social media passwords, banking info, dental records, copy of driver's license, cell phone provider login, Fitbit, Apple Watch tracking device passwords, photos of identifying scars/tattoos, clear unedited makeup, makeupless natural photo of your face, photos of jewelry you wear often, places you frequent, handwriting samples, fingerprints, vehicle information, VIN, license plate, etc., photo of the actual vehicle, your typical daily routine, cell phone and laptop serial numbers, contact info for your closest friends. The reasoning is that it is legally difficult for law enforcement to access much of this information, or sometimes impossible. The Crime Junkie podcast will send you a template of the one they discussed in their podcast, but you have to sign up, and I think that's annoying. Edit to say this is all highly private information that you should keep safely tucked away. If possible, give one trusted person access to this information. Don't keep this lying around your home. Edit 2, this got so popular, I would like to add that I'm providing info OP asked for, not telling anyone to do this. Also, there is no rule that says this all has to be analog for those who are upset about leaving this information physically in your home. All of this information can be stored digitally, wherever you believe is safest. In either situation, you simply need to hide it well and give access only to a trusted individual. That's so scary to think about. Like, I kind of want to do that, honestly, just because I'm just like so paranoid all the time about everything. So it's like, that would honestly be maybe give me some peace of mind. But then again, I would also be scared that someone was going to find it and steal my identity and like have all my information and maybe imagine, no, sorry. This is literally what my brain goes to. Like, imagine the person that you tell actually ends up being the person that ends up kidnapping you. You know, like, imagine, because you truly, I'm not truly like this in like real life. Like, I don't actually think that if I told my boyfriend, like, he would be the one to kidnap me. Like, I trust my boyfriend, but you know, anything can happen. Crazy things like that happen every single day. So I can only imagine, but that's literally what my brain goes to. I'm like, imagine like the one trusted person you tell is the one person that has been like, is gonna turn on you and plan your kidnapping, or has been for like years, and then all of a sudden kidnaps you, and now they have the like this perfect little box of information that, I mean, it's not like they would need to use it for anything, but like if they had all your passwords and stuff for something, they could act like they were you and like just continue living your life for you, even though at some point obviously someone would notice because you're not like in person, but digitally. Okay, anyways, some comments. Yikes, I feel so bad for OP. That stuff is scary. I had a case where I had someone who appeared to be regularly on his phone outside of my kitchen window. I didn't pay much attention because it was a popular throughway, and he appeared to be distracted by his phone every time I saw him, until the police turned up at 11 p.m. one night, saying my neighbors had noticed suspicious activity outside my flat and were worried about me. Neighbors and police didn't tell me the detail. I was super young and didn't want it, but it was pretty clear what he was up to, apparently. Yeah, he hadn't been on his phone. Now the blinds are closed all of the time. Honestly, so fierce of them to call the cops because of that, because that is actually probably most likely saved her life in some way, shape, or form. We love people that care and aren't just like a bystander to something really scary, because imagine that girl like ended up getting kidnapped by him, and then those neighbors would be feeling so bad about that if they are good people. Okay, we are going to move on to the advice segment. Okay, so if you ever want unprofessional advice from me, heavy on the unprofessional, okay? Me. I have a Google form in the description, and you can click on that and leave a little typed out Google form advice, or I also have a section in the same Google form, and once you click on the link, you'll see it, where you can leave a confession. So you can either leave a confession or an advice question, one or the other, or both. If you want to do both, go on, girl. And then I also have a Google voice number that you can call and leave a voicemail and ask for advice, or leave a confession on there as well. And the number is 561-264-7017. Today we have a call, which I'm literally so happy about. I love a call. Okay, seriously, like, these make my day. I love hearing you guys and being like, feeling like I actually am like interacting with you. I think it's so fun. So let's listen to this call together.
Hi, Jamie. My name is Emily. First off, I just love you. I love listening to your podcast, and I truly like feel like we're friends. I know it's like such a parasocial relationship, but as you're talking, I'm always listening and like nodding along or like laughing. So anyways, love you. Love your podcast. Okay. So my question is regarding friendship. I've had these friends, like this group of friends since college. I'm 23 now. I've met them when I was 21. And I went through a big party phase, like at the beginning of college, and then I transferred schools, and now, and then I went to a different college. And when I was there, I was just kind of done with drinking. I was over it. It doesn't appeal to me anymore. I'd rather take a gummy and call it a night, you know? But these friends still really are into drinking, and I've been finding it really hard to hang out with them, and all the activities that they want to do or the hangouts, it always is drinking or going to bars, which that is not my scene at all anymore. Or even if we're going to like the river, they just want to drink. And it's just making it really difficult, and I don't attend a lot of the times because, well, one, they all live like about 45 minutes from me now, but they all live near each other. And two, it's just always surrounding drinking. And some of them are kind of messy drinkers. And so it's just become difficult for me to kind of be around that and not be embarrassed when there's, you know, loudness or, maybe some unsavory behavior. So I guess my question or advice I'm looking for is kind of how do I navigate this, because I really do love these girls as people, and they're my best friends, they're my closest friends, they're kind of my only friends, and I love them very dearly, but it's just become hard to hang out, and I feel like a shitty friend, and I feel like they don't like me as much anymore, and I definitely don't get invited to as much stuff, but it's kind of just because it's always drinking. So if you have any advice, I'd love to hear it. It's hard to find friends post-grad, and I work by myself. I'm self-employed as a nanny, and so that's a bit isolating as well. So I don't really know what to do, and I love them, and I don't want to lose them as friends, but it's also, I feel like a shitty friend for not, you know, participating in what they like to do. So if you have any advice.
Okay, sorry. I don't know why it only lets you leave like a 3-minute voicemail and it cuts you off, but I think my suggestion for this would be, obviously you don't want to lose them as friends, and I totally understand that. Obviously we all go through different like phases of our life. Like right now you're going through a phase which probably will last forever, I'm assuming, but you're like you seem very mature. Like the way that you speak is very mature. I always am like, or like mature and smart at the same time. You know what I mean? Like sometimes I hear people and I'm just like, oh, you're smart. Like I can just tell you're smart. Even, I don't know, by just the cadence of your voice or the way that you speak. I don't know. That's just what I gather from that. Like I thought that, not saying you sound like an old person or anything, but you sound like a lot more mature than 23. Anyways, so what I would say is, I'm not really sure, obviously, like all the details of it. I don't know if you asked them to do other things or like planned something and been like, hey, would you guys be interested in doing this, and like something maybe that you're interested in doing, and then you can plan that. And it's also like fine to have some distance there and to not be attending those and just like let them do their thing with the drinking stuff, and you can just like, if you are down for it, maybe once in a while join them, and then also like once in a while having little suggestions of things that you want to do that like you just don't drink during, you know, because obviously in a lot of situations, like people can turn any situation into like a drinking situation. Like even if it's like, oh, do you guys want to go to the beach? Or like, I don't know where you live, obviously, but I'm just saying like little suggestions. Like even if you said like, let's go to the pool for a day or something, they could make that into a drinking thing, which I understand, but maybe something that like you like to do that's like a hobby or something. Or something that you can like, I don't know, you could like research some stuff that is fun to do like as a group that you like would not be able to drink during, you know what I mean? Like what comes to mind because I'm doing horse lessons right now, but like I think about if I were to do like a fun little trail ride with my friends, which I'm not like suggesting this unless that's something that you guys would be interested in. It's also pretty expensive, but I would love to like, if I were in that situation, I would love to suggest like a little horse trail ride and be like, hey, would you guys want to do this with me? And like, I think it would be really fun to go on a trail ride because I have been loving like riding horses, and I've been on a couple trail rides that I thought were like so fun, and I think it would be a really fun experience for us. And obviously like you're not going to be drinking when you're going on a trail ride. I mean, at least I fucking hope not. That'd be actually scary. I feel like you could get an OWI, honestly, like operating a horse while intoxicated, but definitely don't do that. I don't know. I can't think of any other things, but like obviously I don't know what you're interested in. So maybe think of things that you're interested in, or even just look up things that you would be interested in doing that like maybe everyone would have a fun time doing that don't involve drinking, and that would be like impossible to involve drinking, so that they can't turn it into like a drinking activity. Maybe even speak to them about it and be like, hey guys, like, I mean, I don't know. Obviously you don't want to be like, hey, can you guys not drink, because obviously like they can do whatever they want, right? Like you don't want to feel like a bossy friend or anything and be like, hey, can you not drink? But you could also be like, hey, if you like, because you obviously love them and you're close with them, so you could be like, hey, I would love to, like, I love hanging out with you guys. I love you guys so much, but I don't really like enjoy drinking that much anymore. And as much as like I will still try to attend as much as possible, I would also love it if we could do some things together that don't involve drinking. That's something that maybe like you could suggest, and just not in like a judgmental way, but just in like a nice, friendly way. Just saying that you would love to like do some things that are a little bit not revolved around drinking, just because of the phase of life that you're in right now. And maybe at some point they'll meet you at that phase. Obviously you guys are still so young, so like it makes sense to still be it makes sense to not be wanting to drink as well, but I'm just saying like 23, yeah, it makes sense to like want to be drinking all the time. And I definitely don't think I probably had like a little bit of a phase when I was in 23. I always go through phases in life, but I definitely it's been like a while since I've been through a phase like that. But like I'll go through months of like drinking a lot, not a lot, but like on the weekends more often and going out more often. But yeah, I get it because I also had that like experience growing up, just being like a big party girl and always having my fair share of parties to go to, and like always being drinking and stuff. So I feel like that's part of the reason why I don't really like to drink that much either. Like I only do really on like super special occasions, or if it's like a vacation thing. But yeah, I don't know if that helps at all. I hope that helps, but obviously you want to stay friends. And it's actually so crazy, because when I was in college, I always would hear like people being like, oh, it's so hard to make friends post grad. And I would be like, it's not going to be that hard, or, you know, like whatever. I don't have to worry about that. But then once you're post grad, you're like, holy shit, it really is hard to make friends. Not only is it hard, like, because obviously, yes, could I just go out and make some friends? Absolutely. But like sometimes it's hard for me to get the motivation to make friends, and also to make friends that I want to make, because I'm a little bit picky with friends, which I don't know if that says something about me or not, but I do get a little picky with friends, just because sometimes, I don't know. Obviously, if you're like, for me, a friend is someone that you hang out with a lot and you talk to a lot. So I don't want to like be friends with someone that I don't like, obviously, right? That's kind of obvious. But so many people that I know are friends with people that like they don't love to death, and it's like possible for them to just keep them at arm's length and be like friendly with them. And I have never understood that, like how people can just have so many friends that they're not like super close with, because usually when I have friends, like it's a super close friendship. I hate having like acquaintance friendships that like I'm not that close to, but we hang out once in a while and stuff. Like I hate that. I don't know, that's just my preference, but yeah, so I totally understand. It's so hard. It's honestly like also very exhausting to try to make friends, because it's like, oh my God, it's like going on dates for the first time and going on dates with like potential friends and then trying to like make as much effort as possible. And also you just, yeah, I don't know. But hopefully that helps. And I hope that you figure it out. I totally understand where you're coming from, though. And thank you so much for calling and leaving a voicemail. I love you so much and literally love hearing your guys' voices. Like, I just think it's so fun. So if you ever feel like calling, don't be nervous. Like, I would never judge you, seriously. Because sometimes when I listen to them, obviously, like, people are like, oh, I'm so nervous or like whatever. And I'm like, I totally get that. But like, it's me. Trust, trust. I'm not judging, okay? I'm a weirdo, like, freak, okay? So I don't have room to judge anyone, and I will certainly not judge you beautiful people, okay? But yeah, anyways, hope that helps. I hope you get it all figured out, and I love you guys so much. You guys literally are the best people ever. Why does it look like I'm gonna punch you? I'm not going to punch you, I promise, okay? Anyways, I'll talk to you in the next episode, okay? I gotta go. Love you. Bye.
Storytime Society is now available on all listening platforms. If you are on any of those listening platforms, I would really appreciate it if you rated me 5 stars. Thanks for all the support.
Love you guys. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.